The Butterfly Lovers is a Chinese legend of a tragic love story of a pair of lovers, Liang Shanbo and Zhu Yingtai, whose names form the title of the story. The title is often abbreviated as Liang Zhu. So let's hear the story The Butterfly Lovers. Liang Shanbo was a handsome young scholar who, with his servant, was on his way to study at the famous Academy of 10,000 Pines in Hangzhou. Zhu Yingtai was a beautiful maid who wanted to learn the scholarly arts, but at that time females were not allowed to study. So, with her father's grudging permission and despite his deep misgivings, she and her maid disguised themselves as young men and set out for the same famous academy as Hangzhou. But as they travelled along the road, Zhu Yingtai's horse suddenly shied and nearly threw her into the mud. As the two women struggled to bring the animal under control, Liang and his servant came riding up and assisted them. Within no time, the four young men were happily traveling together. Liang and Zhu got on wonderfully, and Liang suggested that they become sworn brothers, which they did, vowing eternal mutual support. 3 happy years passed, and the two friends were inseparable. School life was delightful, and both of them learned a great deal and enjoyed the company of their fellow scholars. Except for a certain Ma Wansai, the indulged son of a high official of great wealth, who, with some brutish comrades, made life miserable for other students whenever he had an opportunity to do so. Sometimes Zhu Yingtai hinted to Liang Shanbo that she loved him, for she really wished they could be more than brothers to each other. But she never dared do more than hint, and as time passed, it seemed even more awkward to admit she had been deceiving him all along. And for his part, Liang, pure of heart but curiously obtuse, never imagined that she was female. One day, a letter came to Zhu Yingtai announcing that her mother was sick and that she needed to return home immediately. Zhu was horrified at the idea of separation from Liang Shanbo. But then she hit upon an idea. She told him she had a twin sister who looked just like her, except, of course, for being female. And she proposed to introduce them. She made him promise to come to visit in 2 months to meet Sister Zhu. At that time, she reasoned she would be free to appear as a woman, and after his initial surprise, he would surely find that his love for her would become less brotherly. On reaching home, Zhu Yingtai discovered that her mother was in good health. The message about her illness had merely been a ruse to get Yingtai to return home to be married. The man selected to be her husband was none other than the hated Ma Wansai, the bully from the academy. Her father thought the match would unite the two families and help ensure their continuing prominence. He was furious when Yingtai said she had already fallen in love with another man. Now, selecting males, after all, it was a job for parents in those times, assisted by matchmakers perhaps, but it was certainly not the business of brides to be. Indignantly, he received the wedding gifts from the Ma family and ordered Yingtai to cooperate in the marriage. Plans for the wedding advanced slowly, resisted by Zhu Yingtai in every way she could think of. After 2 months, Liang Shanbo came to visit, eager to meet the sister of his beloved sworn brother. Almost immediately, the truth emerged. Yingtai was herself the sister, who had been disguised as a man in order to study, and she was in love with him. Liang Shanpo's affection for his swan brother immediately was transformed from brotherly affection to desperate love for Zhu Yingtai and a desire to marry her. But there was second surprise, an unfortunate one. She was unwillingly engaged to Ma, the bully. Father Chu would of course hear nothing of her marrying Liang Shanpo. Ma was rich, Liang was not, and that made all the difference. Furthermore, the family had already accepted marriage gifts from the Ma family, so the arrangement was effectively finalized. He had Liang Shanpo thrown into the street. Some people say he had Liang beaten first and he died shortly thereafter. Others say Liang stopped eating and died of broken heart. Whatever the truth, Liang was soon dead. Giving in to her father's will, Zhu Yingtai finally agreed to marry Ma Wansai, but on condition that she be permitted to wear white, which is the color of mourning, under her red wedding gown and pay her respect at Liang Shanpo's grave en route to Ma household. The proposal would normally have been outrageous and unacceptable, for contact between a wedding procession and any symbol of death is very ill omened. But Ma agreed, hoping it would help him calm her down, which it appeared that she needed, and at length she had permission. So the wedding procession paused near the grave and allowed Zhu Yingtai to go to it and pay her respect. She in fact did more than that. She sobbed and sobbed. Suddenly the tomb burst open, exposing the body of Liang Shanpo. Zhu Yingtai threw herself upon it, and in a blinding flash of light, Liang Shanpo and Zhu Yingtai were transformed into two magnificent butterflies, who fluttered up from the grave and flew away into the sky. All who witnessed this miracle then realized the power of true love. The story, Butterfly Lovers, was selected as one of China's 4 great folk tales by Folklore movement in the 1920s. And 6 cities in China have collaborated in 2004 on a formal application for the Proclamation of Masterpiece of Oral and Intangible Heritage of Humanity on the legend at UNESCO, submitted in 2006 through the Chinese Ministry of Culture.